Hello and welcome to Archangel Metatron's channel. I have here with me Jackie Holland, who is Source Being, and we're going to have some more conversations with another Source Being. So Jackie, when we did the first kind of session with you, you were still very much integrating your vibration, and the energy was like, it was like sparks. It was like everywhere, there was no kind of like foundation to it. I know from like today connecting with you, I definitely feel like you've settled with the energy and there's a bit more of a firm foundation. So, please update us of how things have been going for you. I mean, how are you settling into, your energy? Because source energy is strong and it's powerful, and, it's a lot for the 3D body to take in. So, yeah, please share.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Yeah, the sessions I've done with Nilesh really brought my energy on, and we've kind of like tweaked things out because I can't remember now because my brain's terrible. And the last time I mentioned how everything was coming in so fast with the abilities, we kind of had to make it so that I can access all the abilities. But when my vibration gets to a certain state, they will come online, because what I was finding was, and you guys might find this too, is that if your vibration hits a certain level with the frequencies coming in, and there's a lot coming in through the sun, there's a lot of cellular DNA coding coming through, and the vibration is coming up so much. You might be able to hear the birds outside, they're so high frequency. What's happening to people's energy, and actually I'm getting like a bit of a vision for this, a lot of people, even if they don't know they're being activated, they're being highly activated. And if you're at a certain frequency, what's going to happen is that something's going to come in, and actually what might happen is you guys might not know what it is, and in about a month you're thinking, what's going on? And then you might suddenly find that a lot is happening. Yeah, so that was kind of happening to me. But what's really good, because of the time, and I won't say it's a sort of, it doesn't feel like linear time, but that's another whole other subject. But it feels like everything's settled down. My energy is a lot stronger. I felt it in the last week. I feel like the abilities that are coming in, they're coming in a very stable way. So that the sites that I have, I'm moving deeper into it rather than having everything come in at once so much. So that's really settled down, and the feeling at ease with it is a really good piece of advice. If you can feel at ease with what's happening to you and just trust it, especially if it's something in the sort of the third eye, if that's happening and you're suddenly seeing, if you're watching this is good, because you can then understand that maybe that's opening up. You may find that you have kind of like and I've been feeling it too, actually, because there's a lot of energy coming in this week. It's kind of like pressure across the head, if that's happening. And then suddenly, maybe like I mentioned in the previous video, things like colour changes, the lights may appear different to you, symbols may be coming in, sort of sacred geometries as well, that kind of thing coming through. And actually, interesting thing with this, the sacred geometries, that was related to the light language, and it's one of the things which I didn't immediately notice coming in, because I would sort of see these kind of squiggle things. Actually, to be honest, that's what they look like to a certain degree, and you might just think, oh, that looks really odd, which is fine. It's exactly what I thought. And I thought, what's going on? What are these? Until you sort of stand back and look, if that's one of your abilities you chose to come in with, you'll be like, well, what's going on? But yeah, just kind of you may start to see the light language symbols, and they usually, and what I know actually, to go back a bit, is that the light language comes in, and then what happens is then it's sacred geometry, and then it's numbers. So so historically, the information is there, and and things like, I want to say, golden section is related, and it's things you can look up. And also the Fibonacci sequence. The people that actually wrote about this and started to understand this were people that were getting this information. And of course, this goes back further as well. And things like the Knights Templar, they had the understanding of the sacred geometries. There's little bits and pieces, but what isn't really known is that this relates to the light. This originates in the light language, and of course, I mean, I knew none of this, so it was quite interesting. But at the same time, I was getting the light language activation, so I worked out what was happening as I was obviously seeing the symbols coming down to me, and alongside the sacred geometry. Now I'm actually, which is really cool, is I've been activated to speak light language. Akiti Koratenia, that's one of the ones that comes up. And I honestly didn't think that was going to happen, because I had a lot of issues with my my throat chakra, and I always for a long time had issues actually sort of speaking, or if I was put on the spot, I was and I remember doing a drama once. I don't know, some kind of play, and I got very, very, very worked up just before I had to speak. But luckily that's sort of gone off, and I say the energy work we've done, the energy work I've done with Nilesh has been brilliant, because that's kind of cleared that. And what happened was I did the activation, was kind of a couple of words, and now there's like full sentences coming through, and alongside like a lot, you know, I can do a long conversation almost. I can do that for you guys as well. Apparently there's quite a lot of activations in there which help people too in healing, and then also moving them into their further on in their ascension process. With that also, you can actually clear your state very quickly if you can be activated to speak. You can clear out your energy field really well. So when some of the days in the lockdown, I've had days where I'm like, ooh, and I'm thinking, what can I do? And I'm like, great, I've got the light language. That's really good, because I'll go into speaking in a sec. But if you have access to that, or if you're able to speak it to yourself, you can just it'll just come through, and you can speak it, and you can actually clear out your energy field completely. So if you're getting a lot of empathic feelings coming through, which I guess you guys may have, a lot of people are going to be quite empathic, and they may not be stressed out within themselves, but they'll be feeling whatever's going on. And I want to say, they say don't watch the news, and that unfortunately, because we are multi-dimensional, we're going to feel it anyway. So that is a really cool way of kind of dispersing that, is to
Totally.
access that.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Can I just interrupt? I was just going to say that when we first did the first video, you know, it was very, I mean, you're a lot more, I feel like your foundation is a lot more settled now, and everything you're building on it still feels a little bit higgledy-piggledy, and there's a lot of information coming on, and it's almost like it's coming through, and you just like speaking it out. And when we did the first video, it's almost like the information was coming in so quickly, you were speaking so fast as well, and it's really lovely to see you slow things down. And the reason why, you know, again, Jackie, the reason why we're doing these videos is because they're raw, they're authentic, you know, they're real. And I really want the world to see what it's like for a source being to inhabit a body and then have this vast amount of download and information that's coming through, and how that affects you. Because I feel like there'll be many of you going through this, and some people might look at it and go, oh well, that's a little bit like out there, and a little bit kind of, this doesn't make sense, or I can't sit here and watch this. But actually it's a very interesting process, and it's been revealed to you in this way, so it helps to identify what's going on with you. It's going to be different for everyone, but that that level of information coming through is like, for you guys, it's phenomenal, and for us to, you know, for us to watch you see you go through, and if we can help and support, we will do. So I just wanted to, you know, say that you know, this week everything's slowed down, things are settling a little more with you, and you're a lot more balanced, and things, you know, things are like, you know, it's not so like that, you know, trying to get it all out, you know, all this information, you know, and
Yeah.
It's wonderful to see it, you know. And you know, the other thing is your light language is, it's fascinating, like how quickly that's just like boom, come online for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll talk about those aspects. I was going to say the speaking was really, really cool, because I honestly didn't think anything at all, but it was literally, and I want to say, I feel, this is my gut feeling, that although I was activated, I feel that if people's vibrational state is at a certain point, they can automatically speak, and it will come through, and they may not know. And I think, well, what is this? Because what actually happens is it was really, really fast. I say I was like a few words, and then it was, you know, I could feel myself. I mean, things. This is funny, because I was talking to the moon, and that's something I do because I can connect with that energy. And then that's when a lot comes through. And I think if you're starting, or just coming into that, if you're outside, that's a really good place. And with nature, you're going to get it really quick. And yeah, it was suddenly lots of chanting, a very shamanic. That's kind of past, and I what's very interesting is that I'm not automatically going back that. So I try, because once you try to think it, you can't. You've got to get the ego. The ego doesn't work with this. It just comes in, and you think, oh, maybe I'll say a few words, and then it will stop. What actually happens, it just keeps going, and I was. And I was thinking, actually, it's very interesting, because I think I sometimes have to think about the English words I say, but once you speak in the light language, you're not learning. It's kind of flowing through you, so you don't think it just comes through, and you're just like, and it's actually really powerful, because my voice is much more powerful now I'm speaking, because it kind of heals your body as well. So, and it's moving it on. So I feel much more confident speaking. So I mean, I just, this is one of the latest things. So I'm just loving this. But if you can access an activation, that's really cool. Definitely, it's interesting, because it's not widely known. But going back to the geometries and the golden section and the Fibonacci sequence, those types of things, they're all coming from there. Light language has kind of been passed by, but I think it's really cool. And then you might find that you're also doing symbols as well. And did I show them my symbols last time? Can you remember?
I don't know. I think it's worth seeing them again for sure.
Yeah, we can post some of these, but what I do is each day I sort of like channel, and it's been nice in the UK. Sorry if it's not been nice where you are, but it's been nice in the UK so far. And I've been sat outside. I've been kind of like, oh god, it's disappeared. I've disappeared.
Oh, there we go.
Hang on.
There we go. Okay, yeah, we can see that.
That's some from today. And what will happen is I'll do a couple of pages. They come out really fast. Usually, like within a minute, I'll have a page. And what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to draw the symbol, and at the same time I'll be able to put like language and sounds to it. But that just comes straight through. But what will happen is I generally later won't be able to do it. So what we discovered is at the moment I'm speaking a specific one, and I think some of the last week's stuff was aspects. I shouldn't use the word stuff. That's terrible. Aspects is more like Native American, which I love that. I'm probably going to come on with some kind of headdress later, because I know now I'm tuned in with that. So I might change my appearance. But yeah, that's really cool. Like very shamanic stuff and chanting. But yeah, very, very clearing of the energy field. But
Jackie,
yeah.
do you want to talk? Jackie, do you want to talk a bit more about, when you see like the sky opening up and you have this disc where the information is given to you? I mean, how is that? Has that changed anywhat since you last talked to us about it?
Oh, sorry, I'm just going to clear my mouth. That actually is very high vibration, because I'm going to say, because of the level of frequency that is occurring now, everything alters, and it's what I was getting through is like that it's always transforming and evolving. At night, I can visualize the disc, and it's almost like I can almost step inside it now, and yeah, that it looks, some of it looks really, it's much more sharper. I feel like I'm actually walking through definitely walking through tunnels in, and just they become, so the so you have, say, the sphere being center of the disc, and then it kind of opens out, and then if you can imagine the tunnels coming, evolving from that, and walking through them, kind of like, I don't want to use wormholes, but I think that's probably the scientific word. But
portals.
Yeah. Portals.
That's so well.
Yeah. And it will just, it's where my consciousness wants to go, or what wants to communicate at the time. It's all good. That's the thing. It's if you experience suddenly experience the astral plane, it's nothing to be afraid of. You can protect yourself. You can say, I only want beings of the highest love and light. You say this before you attempt any form of meditation or anything like that. Then you can protect yourself in that way. But I find that it's absolutely fine. Everything coming to me is, I have a relationship or with in a multi-dimension, and they're just coming in to say hi. But it's all much, it seems much clearer, in the detailing of the places. It's much more crisp, and I find also there's more layers to the imagery now. So it's very holographic, but it's the imagery there seems to be more. It seems I want to say it's though. This is the interesting thing. I want to say it's very, I mean, this is extremely ancient, but at the same time it's very high tech, and that is the very interesting thing. It's extremely, it looks very holographic, very something that looks very advanced, but that's there is no past and future. So you've got to think of it as this is now, and this is it. And the other thing, it isn't operating in linear time. This isn't part of linear time. This is way out of that. But that is much clearer, and
that's like
getting a lot more through. Shall I mention obviously the sky is much more active at the moment through the disc as well.
Yeah.
A lot. And I guess, and if you're coming into your elevated consciousness, you may be accessing ability to see beyond the solar system as we know it, and you might think, oh, that's a satellite coming in, or that's a plane going over. Just look again and really look, because sometimes it's not that. They you may think that, but it's you might find that you have different star systems and galaxies that you're related to that come in. They want to communicate. They see that you're coming into your sight, so that they now communicate with you. It was a bit interesting when that first happened to me, and I had like planets and like light coming, and I was like, what's going on? And then I realized, I'm seeing something that is out there that is related to me. But I think because also, and it is multidimensional, but at the moment, because of the lack of pollution, the skies are very, very clear. So there is a lot more visible now. But yeah, I'd go outside and have a look, see what you can see.
I think that's brilliant. It's so lovely to see you a lot more settled and, tapping into your vibration. Do you remember I was saying to you that we put a lock on like your abilities, and I feel like this is the lock, and I feel like you're here. So I think we're really, really close to unlocking it. It's wonderful to, like I say, it's really nice to kind of see, we've taken your journey from when you first started, and so it's wonderful for like everyone to see what it's like to have such a high vibrational element inside a human body and how that affects you. And some people just go, well, she's just talking really fast. Well, that's vibration for you. It's very hard to assimilate that, and that's what Jackie's trying to do. She's trying to assimilate this source energy, and it takes time to get used to that. That's not something that's going to happen over a few weeks. It's going to take months and months and months and months. And fortunately for us, we've met, so I've been able to kind of tamper the vibration a little bit for Jackie, and so it's helping her to kind of assimilate better. But it's so wonderful to see the clarity with you now. It's like everything's coming into much more clear focus in regards to what you're seeing, what you're feeling, and also being able to sift through the information as it's coming in, rather than it kind of just whizzing past you and you're not being able to concentrate on anything and feeling very puzzled and very dizzy about it all. And so it's really, really wonderful to see that with you. So it's beautiful, Jackie. Well done. It's not easy, I don't think, to assimilate high vibrational energy. I mean, I can definitely relate in regards to Metatron. His and Father's energy are huge, and assimilating that is not easy. I mean, I've touched Father's energy, and it's not easy.
No, definitely not. But it's cool. I mean, this is what's really good. Like the videos you did with the hypnosis and people, and that really is tangible. That really is energy. You can see it. There's no dispute, and like you say, the vibration and energy will affect people differently, and you that's a really good one. That puts people online, that video, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I also feel like, source beings like yourself and many other ascended masters and light workers and light riders and angelics and all of them, you're all coming in with like amazing codes, and you're coming in with light language activation as well. You can activate people in their own vibration just by using light language or using the symbology that you're coming in with. And people won't kind of like, believe that. There are some that will and some that won't, but it's a reality. We look at, any kind of vibration, it will. I mean, I know when I do mine and I spend time with someone who's not fully on board with their own vibration, it used to take, a couple of months, and now it's like for some it's days, for others it's weeks. It's really rapid, and life just changes so quickly. And that's not because my vibrations got higher, that's because the energies on the planet of the vibration are higher. That's why. And so, we are intermingling with that vibration. We are, melding with that vibration, and that's why things are like propelling a lot faster, which is so wonderful to see.
Definitely. There'll be a lot more coming, and I think I definitely think I'm really, I think this is really good. I'm quite humbled to do this, really, in a way, Nilesh, because I think this is great, and he's asked me to do this. Amazing, really, because I feel like I have a purpose, and I feel this really is, and it makes sense because of how things have happened to me, and I guess I asked them to happen this way for this reason. I'm sure I agree. I'm certain that I agreed to this to happen, so that I could understand it in this way, so I can relate the information to other people, and there'll be others. And please don't think that I'm special in any way. It is just the vibration that I have. I'm no better or worse than anybody. That's one thing, and that's one thing I kind of struggle with.
It's so source being when you guys say that. I love your source being. You're so amazing.
But yeah, it's kind of like, I don't want to sound like, I can do this and this. But actually, you guys, I mean, what I say, that I'm sure this is why I was meant to be able to do the light language so fast, because I think that's really good. And I want to say that anybody can do this. So I know. So I've been told anybody can be activated. It just depends on the level of clearing that they've done. And I think a lot of people are doing a lot of clearing right now in this state. People are going within, and a lot of stuff is coming up for them. And once that's cleared, and like if the chakra system's fairly balanced out, I think you can be activated. It's pretty cool. Be nice to hear some more people do it, and I wouldn't sound so different.
I think there are a few people that do it, Jackie.
Yeah.
It's just that sometimes it's done very much in private, isn't it? I mean, just before we started this video, you gave me an activation. I didn't ask for it. You just it just came out naturally, normally, you know, and it's beautiful. Thank you for that. You know, it's so good because, as you know, I have to learn, well, not learn, but remember how to speak light language, and that's one of the things I need to do. So, and I seem to have had a few activations as well. So. It's like interesting. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Find out later what happens. You'll come back and all the words will be light language. I'll be like, that's really cool. But it's funny. It is funny because, far as I know, that the sounds, they can sometimes be like a whole book of information put into a sound, which I think that's really cool. And that we just absorb it, and I think it's really great because you don't have to. The ego isn't involved; it's going straight in, sort of through here and then in without any obstruction, and that's so cool. There's no analysis or anything like, oh, what's this? It's in.
Yeah, exactly. It's just said. Yeah, it's beautiful. That's wonderful. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for coming, on and sharing, your experience of what it's like to be, source being in a human 3D body. And we will continue. We'll continue this series, and you can see, Jackie's progress as she goes forward and the abilities that come online for her. And, this is what it's about. It's just about us sharing, so you guys can identify with it. Because, to say that there's only one or two source beings, there's millions of you here. There's millions of you here. So, and you're all going to come into that knowing this is what it's all about. So, thank you, Jackie. Thank you for being here. And
no worries.
And we'll see you again next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. I look forward to it.